Sargon of Akkad. Dude sounds like a rapper or some historical figure. Turns out he's actually a YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ever seen any of his videos?
Can't say I have.
So this guy, right, he's got this look. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but...
Well, you're about to be.
Okay, so picture this. Okay. Fat cigar. El Neck Beardo Grande. That's straight from Kiwi Farms, by the way. And he's always ranting about, like, SJWs and professional victims. It's a whole thing.
Sounds like someone's been spending too much time on those forums.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But seriously, though, the dude's content is wild. And the stuff you sent over, there's a lot there. Articles, threads, even some of his video transcripts. It's like we're trying to figure out if this Sargon guy is legit influential or just some master troll or maybe...
A bit of both.
Yeah, like both.
It wouldn't be the first time we've seen that online.
Totally.
So, Sargon of Akkad. Real name is Carl Benjamin. He popped up during Gamergate, remember that?
Oh, yeah, Gamergate.
A whole mess. Basically, a bunch of angry gamers ranting about ethics in games journalism.
And women. Don't forget the women.
Yeah, lots of misogyny mixed in there.
There's a whole internet dumpster fire.
Definitely a pivotal moment, though.
Totally.
It really brought the dark side of online culture into the spotlight.
Right. And this Sargon guy, or Carl, he was like right in the middle of it. Built this huge following with his videos, always ranting about like SJWs and political correctness and one of his faves, cultural Marxism.
Cultural Marxism, that's a loaded term.
Right. Like what even is that?
It's basically this conspiracy theory that claims Marxists are infiltrating cultural institutions to, like, undermine traditional values.
Sounds paranoid.
Yeah, it's often used to discredit progressive ideas or just shut down any conversation about social justice.
Got it. So Sargon's videos are full of this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, and his style is.
Yeah.
Something else, right? Like, picture this, okay, as sort of droning pseudo-intellectual. You know, like that boomer uncle who corners you at Thanksgiving and just lectures you about the decline of Western civilization.
Except with a British accent.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and don't forget the look, okay? The fat cigar plus El Neckbeardo Grande combo. Kiwi Farms gold, I swear.
They do love their colorful descriptions over there.
It's like they're writing a novel about him or something.
It's like performance art almost.
Totally.
So we've got this guy with a distinctive look, a knack for controversy, and a British accent. What about the actual arguments, though? Like, what's his deal?
Honestly, it's hard to pin down. He throws out all these buzzwords, feminism, Islam, free speech, logic, but it never really goes beyond this general sense of, I don't know, grievance. Like, he's always outraged about something.
A professional contrarian.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's built his whole career on being the internet's designated complainer.
And it's worked. He's got a huge following.
Crazy, right? It is interesting to consider why that kind of message resonates with so many people, though.
It's like the appeal of outrage,
Yeah.
right? Having someone put your frustrations into words, even if it's not always the most nuanced way.
Exactly. Speaking of, you mentioned in your notes a figure called Mr. Metacore.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Metacore, another one of these online provocateurs.
Provocateurs.
Yeah, provocateurs.
And they've clashed with Sargon.
Oh, yeah, they've had some pretty epic debates, let me tell you. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
You can't look away, even though you know it's probably going to be bad.
Exactly. And it seems like Sargon just thrives on that kind of confrontation.
It's like fuel for his fire.
Right. And it definitely keeps things interesting, even if it's not always, in a good way.
That's a good point. What's fascinating about all of this is that Sargon seems to embody this specific brand of online outrage culture. It's like he's built a career, an actual following, on being provocative and pushing buttons.
So what does all this mean? Like, is he genuinely influential? Is he actually shaping opinions, or is he just a really good troll?
It's a question worth asking, especially as we look at how online culture interacts with the real world. And it's not just the content, it's how he packages it. These platforms, YouTube especially, they've given guys like Sargon a stage, right? A way to reach millions of people and spread their message, whatever that message might be.
Totally. It's like anyone with a webcam and an opinion can become an influencer these days. And I guess Sargon figured out the formula.
What algorithm?
The algorithm.
He knows how to work it. Get those views, stir up the comment sections.
And man, those comments.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild down there. It's like a whole ecosystem of like agreement and outrage and memes and I don't know, just pure internet chaos.
But that's what makes him so interesting to study, right?
Totally.
His content is designed to evoke strong reactions, both positive and negative.
He's got a dedicated fan base for sure.
Oh yeah, people who genuinely agree with him, but he's also become like a lightning rod for criticism.
And mockery. Don't forget the mockery. I swear, some of the stuff I've seen online about him is hilarious. The memes, the parodies. Oh, and someone on Kiwi Farms pointed out that his whole look is basically fat cigar plus El Neck Beardo Grande.
Sounds about right.
It's perfect.
It's like he's become this caricature of himself.
Right.
On one hand, he's trying to be this serious intellectual, dissecting complex issues.
Deep thoughts with Sargon.
Exactly. But then there's this undeniable element of absurdity to it all.
It's like he's trying to be a thought leader and the punchline of a joke at the same time.
And that tension, that contradiction, it's fascinating. Even if you totally disagree with everything he says.
I know what you mean.
It really highlights the weirdness of online discourse, right?
Yeah.
Serious debates get tangled up with memes and irony and personal attacks.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's hard to separate the signal from the noise.
Sometimes the noise is just too loud, though.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you gotta admit, the guy has a knack for saying some truly wild stuff. He's allergic to nuance.
Yeah, his tendency towards hyperbole and, oversimplification.
This is frustrating.
It can be, especially when dealing with these complex issues that require careful consideration and thought.
It's like he's not even trying to have a real conversation.
More like he's playing a game,
Oh, yeah.
trying to win points instead of actually engaging with different perspectives.
Exactly. And that kind of approach,
It's harmful.
it is. It shuts down conversation and prevents any kind of meaningful understanding from happening.
Creates this environment of hostility, right, where people are more interested in yelling at each other than actually listening.
And that kind of toxic discourse, it can have real-world consequences.
Absolutely. It influences how we interact with each other.
Offline, too.
Yeah, offline too. We've seen how online outrage can spill over into real life, fuel polarization.
Even violence.
Exactly.
It's a slippery slope.
And figures like Sargon, whether they intend to or not, they contribute to that dynamic.
It's true, and it's kind of scary to think about.
It is, but even the people who criticize Sargon, the ones who find his content problematic, they still get drawn in.
Yeah, it's like, you know it's bad for you, but you can't help but watch.
It's like a car crash, right?
Exactly.
You know you shouldn't look, but you can't help yourself.
I'm guilty of it too,
I
honestly.
think that morbid curiosity, and I think it speaks to Sargon's, skill? There's a certain level of talent involved in crafting a persona that resonates so strongly with this specific audience, even if that resonance is based on, anger and resentment.
Like he's tapped into this vein of cultural anxiety, that feeling of being unheard or marginalized.
Exactly, and he's channeled it into this powerful online brand.
A brand that survived all the controversy and criticism.
He's weathered countless storms of online backlash.
He's like the Teflon Don of YouTube.
And he still has this dedicated following that thrives on the drama.
So maybe that's the key to understanding him. He's not just a commentator, he's a performer.
A provocateur. He understands the power of outrage, of pushing those boundaries, getting those reactions.
He's also like a professional troll, Like he's figured out how to make outrage profitable.
And in the world of online entertainment, those skills can be incredibly valuable, even if they're used in ways that, we might not necessarily agree with.
So what do you think? What's next for Sargon? Will he keep riding this wave of online outrage, or will he eventually just fade away?
It's hard to say. The internet has a short attention span.
Yeah, things change so quickly.
But one thing's for sure, Sargon of Akkad, he's left a mark.
He's definitely made a name for himself.
But the question is, does that notoriety translate into genuine influence or just fleeting internet fame?
Right. It's like, is he actually shaping the conversation, or is he just a symptom of a larger cultural shift?
A symptom of our times, maybe?
Maybe.
It's almost like he's holding up a mirror to our online selves, reflecting back all our anxieties and frustrations.
And our tendency towards extremes.
Exactly. And I think that's a powerful image. It speaks to the importance of critical thinking, of being aware of our own biases and, just engaging with information in a thoughtful way.
Especially in a world where algorithms and outrage seem to be driving the conversation.
We have to be careful not to get swept away by all the online drama, right?
Yeah, there's a real world out.
There's real consequences.
Well said.
So it seems like we've covered a lot of ground here.
Well, you still have some questions about Sargon.
I do. I'm still trying to figure out his motivations, What drives them? Is it genuine belief? Is it just a desire for attention? Or is it something else entirely?
And what about his followers?
Right. What draws them to his content?
Are they true believers or just curious onlookers?
I think it speaks to a deeper truth about these online personalities.
What's that?
They often remain enigmas, even to those who follow them closely.
Like you can analyze their content, their rhetoric, their whole online persona.
There's always this element of mystery, this sense that you're only getting a glimpse of the whole picture.
Like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces.
Exactly.
It's funny, isn't it? We spent like, I don't know, an hour talking about Sargon. His content, his appeal. And I still don't know if he actually believes the things he says or if it's all just like an act.
Yeah, it's a question that's baffled a lot of people who watch him.
Is he a true believer, a cynical opportunist?
Or maybe a bit of both.
Right, bit of both.
The line between genuine conviction and, performance, it can be pretty blurry online.
Especially online.
Yeah, especially online. It's like he comes across as this deeply passionate guy, convinced he's fighting some grand battle against the forces of political correctness.
Cultural Marxism.
Yeah, cultural Marxism.
The woke mob.
But then there's this part of you that's like, is he in on the joke? Is he aware of how he comes across?
Totally. Like, is he self-aware?
And that self-awareness, that's what makes him so effective.
You think so?
I do. He understands how to play the game, how to push those buttons, get people talking, get people riled up.
The outrage algorithm.
Exactly, the outrage algorithm. He's cracked the code.
Be controversial, be outrageous, be entertaining, and the clicks will follow.
It's a formula for online success.
And it's worked for him.
It has. It really has. Despite all the scandals and controversies, he's still out there, creating content, building his brand.
Makes you think about online fame, right? Is it all just fleeting and superficial, or can it actually turn into something, I don't know, more lasting?
Good question.
Like, what's Sargon's legacy going to be? Is it just measured in views and followers? Or is there something more, something bigger at play?
He's become this symbol, almost.
A symbol of what?
I don't know, our times, maybe? This era of outrage culture, online polarization, and these larger-than-life internet personalities.
The influencers.
Yeah,
The ones who command attention, even if it's for the wrong reasons.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? Whether you love him, hate him, or you're just completely baffled by him, Sargon has definitely made an impact.
He's forced us to think about online discourse, the power of outrage.
That blurry line between performance and genuine belief.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive, the wild world of Sargon of Akkad. What have we learned? I mean, what insights have we gained into outrage culture, the impact of these online personalities?
And how can we apply these insights to our own online experiences? How do we navigate social media? How do we engage in, actual meaningful dialogue?
Resist the temptation to just yell at everyone.
Exactly. Resist the temptation to just yell at everyone, because at the end of the day, it's up to us to decide what kind of online world we want to create.
A world built on empathy and understanding.
Or one dominated by anger and division.
So, on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Yeah, I think so too. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Sargon of Akkad.
And to you, the listener, remember to engage critically, think for yourself, and always seek out multiple perspectives.
Because in a world where outrage often reigns supreme,
Right.
the most valuable thing you can have is a discerning mind.
The good one. I like that. We'll see you next time. If you're tired of the same old on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking for something truly unique,
Yeah.
something that will make you laugh,
Uh-huh.
think and maybe even question your own sanity,
Possibly.
then do yourself a favor and check out Google Presents Kiwi Farms.
I second that.
Subscribe to their channel
Hit that notification bell.
and get ready for a wild ride through the weirdest, wildest corners of the internet.
You won't regret it.
You won't be disappointed.
And if you do check them out,
Yeah.
let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Always love to hear from listeners.
That's all from us today, folks.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Google Presents Kiwi Farms.
See you next time.
Until next time, stay curious
Stay weird.
and keep on stretching those metaphorical boundaries.
You never know what you'll find on the internet.
And that's a wrap.